If you've been with the channel for a little while, you probably noticed a saying being spammed all in my comments. The fight starts and Sanji disappears. Now, I'm gonna be honest, I do not know where this came from, because before my Sanji vs King video, I had never said this shit once, and somehow it became a full-fledged saying on my channel. But anyways, this saying has stirred up quite a bit of influence on people's perception of certain battles in One Piece, and in today's video, let's talk about speed and its impact on the power scaling of our beloved series. What's up guys, Restless here, and in today's video, I want to talk about how speed should be viewed in the community. I've looked into some comment sections and I've seen that my movement has impacted a lot of people, but at times to an excessive amount. So let's talk about it. Like always, make sure to like, subscribe, and watch it till the end. Now, let's start off by clarifying what I mean when I say Sanji disappears. Upon his awakening, Sanji was able to perception bliss Queen, not once, but twice in the same fight. We recently got those two instances animated, and to say the very least, it's exactly how I described it. The perfect example of the two is here in this narrow hallway. Sanji stands before Queen, gets into position, and literally disappears. It's not like he's hiding from Queen or anything. As we see, this is a straight hallway. And once we actually get to see what Sanji is doing at the moment, he's using Skywalk so fast that Queen can't even see him anymore, thus giving us the saying, Sanji disappeared. Now, the reason this saying has impacted a lot of people's thinking is because I've been claiming Sanji can perception bliss people other than Queen. Me personally, I hold Sanji's base speed to a high regard, and my scaling for it was portrayed in my first ever video, Sanji vs Katakuri. What I did in that video was put different speeds in tiers. In tier 5, or the lowest tier, was a suppressed Queen and Marco, because even though Marco was clearly faster, he couldn't bliss him in a normal circumstance. And don't forget who Marco is, he was able to intercept Kizaru's light beams. In tier 4, I have Marco again if you want to count this as a blitz. Also, upon some recent research, I've decided to put a full power Queen here, as we see Queen with Germa powers use Henry Queen to hit Sanji in the air, which is a clear speed attack. I mean, the original is literally called a light speed sword, so yes, Queen himself is a speedster. Deal with it. A tier above that in tier 3 is base Sanji. Honestly, I'd say he's 2 tiers above that, since he moves so fast he can bypass Queen's perception, something that can handle his Henry Queen, which is a blitz attack at light speed. Then on top of that, we have Diabo Jambe Sanji. This is because when Sanji is in Diabo Jambe, he has faster kicking speeds. And the reason this makes him faster is because Skywalk is literally him kicking the air. So with Diabo Jambe, he's kicking the air faster, therefore going faster than his base that perception bliss Queen. And finally, at the top of the speed tier, we have Ifrit Jambe Sanji. I mean, do I really have to say anything about this? Is Diabo Jambe on crack? And so, with all this, obviously, I think Sanji is one of the fastest characters in the entire show. Top 5 even. And I imagine him perception blissing a lot of people. Obviously, including the characters I put him up against before. And so, with this comes a problem. The speed problem. What this refers to is people thinking just because Sanji can perception bliss majority of the verse, that means he can get upscaled to outrageous amounts. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for the Sanji agenda, but I've literally seen people using my saying to say Sanji can beat top tiers just because of perception blissing. Let me get something clear. Just because Sanji can perception bliss someone doesn't automatically give him the win. I mean, imagine Sanji disappearing for Kaido, going in for a kick, doing a little damage but not enough, and Kaido hits him with his club. Obviously, this is not going to be a one-shot, but that's literally how I imagine Sanji going against top tiers as. Of course, he's not getting blitzed by any of them. I don't care what you say, that's not happening. But the problem is that Sanji doesn't have enough AP to defeat characters like you guys think he does. The characters I put him up against were low diff for him because he does have the AP for them. Katakuri would meet God in one kick from Sanji, Jinbei would turn into fried fish in one kick from Sanji, Marco is meeting Whitebeard after consecutive kicks from Sanji, King is meeting the rest of his race after some kicks from Sanji. That's all true. But then when we continue on to characters above them, like Yamato, Law, Kid, Zoro, Sabo, Sanji isn't one-shotting them, bruh. Sanji can definitely get a blitz off, obviously, but realistically, their endurance, well, maybe not Frogbo, but their endurance are crazy to say the very least. And unlike the 4 people that I put Sanji up against before, these fights are not completely one-sided. Now, under other circumstances, speed can really turn a battle upside down. Let's take a hypothetical Kizaru versus Big Mom for example. Kizaru clearly takes the speed part of things here. I don't think anyone would disagree with this, just like how Sanji would. But here's the difference. Kizaru is him. With his overwhelming speed and Rio as we've seen him use it in Marineford, I have him beating Big Mom in a fight, because he can easily blitz and use durability negation more potent than Lion Kid's awakenings, which put her, in her own words, through the most pain she's had in years. See what I mean? If Kizaru has similar speed to her, I'd easily put Big Mom beating him, because her AP should be able to take him down, even though it couldn't take down Kid Law and Ulti. But let's give her the benefit of the doubt. But regardless, Kizaru outclasses her in speed, and so this is an example of speed being the winning factor. But that was a hypothetical. A real scenario that we've seen in the story in fact just happened. It was Shanks versus Kid. Kid had the AP to take down the entire fleet of Shanks, but Shanks had enough speed to blitz him and use an attack with higher attack potency than Big Mom's before he could react. Now, this is not to say that if Shanks had the same speed as Kid, it would be the opposite. But Shanks being significantly faster allowed him to go from maybe a mid-div to a low-div. And this is what I mean. If you have top tier AP to match your top tier speed, you will become one of the strongest. This is why I think Oda will never get Sanji Conqueror's coding, because right now without it, he's going high diff with people like Kid, Law, Zoro, and Yamato. But with Conqueror's coding, they wouldn't even be in his league, and that doesn't seem right. So all in all, what I'm trying to say is, while Sanji can disappear and bypass majority of the verse's perception, his overwhelming and top tier speeds don't mean he can beat everyone. That is because there are other factors in play when we enter the big boys of the verse. Still, Sanji will fuck up anyone who doesn't have the endurance to take a full-fledged combo of Ifrit Janbei Sanji. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. It was a quick one because soon enough, I will be putting Sanji up against the big boys I was talking about in this video, so stay tuned. Anyways, if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving a like and subscribing. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.